I don't think panic. I mean, they've played two really good teams, two, you think, Super Bowl contenders, both of them,
Yes.
Rams, and they've lost by a combined total of 6 points. The defense is good. I mean, you face Matthew Stafford and Baker Mayfield, and I think they're giving up about 17 points a game. Like, the defense has been good. We know they have a strong pass rush. Their problem has been offensively.
Correct.
They haven't gotten it going, and it is now time to wonder what in the world is going on with C.J. Stroud, who was fantastic as a rookie, started out that second season pretty strong, and then since then, he hasn't been, like, horrible, but he hasn't been close to what made everyone love him a few years ago.
Well, if you cut his, bro, you can keep going, but just show the graphic. If you cut his career in half, now the midway point does happen to be the moment he told Caleb, "Come here, young fellow, let me teach you."
Oh my God, give it a
But it's
rest.
17 games on both sides, Brew, and those are drastically different numbers. Like 26 to 5 touchdown interception, 18 to 13 touchdown interception, rating of 101 to 84. Like, yards per game dropped by almost 60 yards. Like, that is seismic difference, and it's 17 before and 17 after.
And remember, when he came in, he had DeMeco Ryans was a rookie head coach. The organization was in tatters. They didn't have Joe Mixon that year. The offensive line was, injuries, guys in and out, and he still played great. So I get it. Mixon isn't there. Chubb, isn't what he used to be. He had a nice run last night. They've had some injuries with Tank Dell. Stephon Diggs got hurt, and now he's gone. So I get some of those things, but he looked like a guy that was overcoming whatever was in his path as a rookie. And so that's their biggest question. They still, look, the division isn't strong. Their next two games are Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You would think they should be
That
2-2.
Jacksonville game's huge.
That's a big game, right. But they could be 2-2 in short order and then still be in the mix in that division. But they clearly aren't a Super Bowl contender.
Go ahead, KW.
It's getting late early in Houston. This Jacksonville game might be it.
Well, it's a big game.
If you go, if the Prince.
All right, we're not doing a Prince take right now. We're focusing on C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. Is it time for them to panic? No, but there's problems. And I don't think that we just all look to C.J. Stroud, honestly. It's not that C.J. Stroud is the problem, but he also hasn't been the solution either. I think especially from an offensive standpoint, they are struggling to get the coaching in order, and CJ has been struggling with the pressure. And it's not like right now the pressure in terms of passing pressure, like in terms of like a pass rush, and I don't mean like pressure outside pressure. I always wish it was a different word because that always gets confusing. But I just don't feel as though he's getting the solutions to this right now because he's being pressured. But it's not like at this obscene, alarming rate here. Okay, if we look at right now for these first 2 weeks, we see Baker Mayfield drop backs with pressure number 137, Jin Daniels 35. I'm just going through the main quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, SP, we can skip Spencer Rattler and Drake May, Penn 27, Daniel Jones 27, Russ 27, and now CJ Stroud 26. So it's like, it's all within range. Stafford 26, Jalen Hurts 24. But here's the thing, and you guys know I talk about this a lot, and because it means something to me. Here's the pressure to sack percentage for him through those first 2 weeks is 23.1. And when we look at all the other quarterbacks above him, okay, he has outside of a random outlier of Cam Ward, who's a rookie, obviously, and Drake May, who's in his second year and has, quite frankly, since he got banged up, he has only had a handful of starts himself at 25. Everyone else has a lower pressure to sack percentage. So they're either scrambling like Jane Daniels obviously is relying heavily on scrambles here, but then Dak Prescott's avoiding sacks, but he's only scrambled. It's because he's getting rid of the ball. And this is the problem that CJ Stroud is facing right now. That he's able to scramble, and his scrambles are, he used his legs yesterday, really well actually. But he's taken 6 sacks in these in these first 2 games. His pressure to sack percentage is 23.1. So almost nearly a quarter of the time that he's experiencing pressure, he's getting sacked. And the scrambles aren't some big backbeat break aching scramble like we've seen the Jaden Daniels of the world, and he's not able to get the ball out in a way that does much things meaningfully. I mean, this is when he's formally, blitzed. He's 12th now in yards for blitzing, but it's he's in like the, he's 160 and everyone else below him is around hundreds and whatnot. And then you have other people like Daniel Jones, 439. So don't get lost in the yards. It's just an easy way to kind of just organize it right now. But you can see all the quarterbacks above him, which I have: Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Pennick, Sam Darnold, Stafford, etc., etc. Look at their offensive rating when being blitzed. CJ Stroud is 36.1. Everyone else above 71.1, 68.4, 74, 73, 91, 79. It's all 60, 78. He's in 36. The next lowest person that actually matters in the NFL right now would technically be J.J. McCarthy, and he's 28.9, which is bad. That's, I think that's pretty much the lowest. Yeah, it's the lowest for all the actual 32 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. The actual quarterbacks who are starting. That's what's really crushing him right now significantly. Significantly. It's not everything, because like I said, this isn't the same thing as last year where he's getting pressured just nonstop. It's a part of it, and as we see, other quarterbacks are getting pressured at a higher rate, but they're able to navigate it more skillfully. We have a situation here where someone like Nico Collins, obviously his #1 wide receiver, is getting 3 receptions on 9 targets. I mean, that alone is pretty unsustainable here. I mean, look at everyone else's reception percentage. 1 reception, 1 target, 2 receptions, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 3 targets, 3 receptions, 4 targets, 1 reception, 1 target, 1. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like, that's not sustainable. Here's Nico Collins. So when he's actually catching the ball, he's top 12 now in offensive rating, and his reception percentage is 33.3%. Okay, again, look at all the other receivers above him. 87.5. Cooper Kupp, 88.950%, 69.250%, 80%, 82.475%, 100%, 100%, 81.8%, 8%. I mean, he's the one outlier here, 33%. Everyone else in the top, 30 top. I mean, he's 33%. He's got the lowest receiving, reception percentage by a mile here, by a mile. I mean, no one else is in. T. Higgins is in 33, and he had a backup quarterback thrown into him. So, I think that's don't really look into that too much. And again, it's not to say that you're always, especially when you're a high volume receiver, you're just always going to be catching every single ball here. And again, like these aren't drops either here. But I mean, this is what continues to be alarming for me, because again, I'm just sticking with Nico because he's the main target here. And when we compare him to all the other receivers, this is now just short passing. So, 0 to 9 passing yards, okay? In terms of the target, and this is the bread and butter for these receivers, okay? This is where you're just supposed to be able to feast. I mean, you're as close as you can get for the quarter, with the quarterback. And in this situation here, he had 1 reception on 4 targets for 7 yards. Okay, for 7 yards. Puka Nakuba 3 for 3, Terrara McLaren 4 for 5, Adun 3 for 3, Z Flowers 2 for 2. I'm on Ross Street, Brown 4 for 5, Mike Evans 3 for 5, CD Lamb 4 for 5, right? To go up to their big dog, Jamar Chase 7 for 7, 71 yards, right? Able to get the ball in space. The Bengals do a great job of this, getting the ball in his hands in space, and then he's able to take care of the rest. I mean, he's able to pick up some great yards after catch here. almost nearly half his yards came from yards after catch. Jacoby Myers got 68 yards on 6 catches, and 50 of them came from Yak. Nico Collins, 2. Okay? So there's just a lot of offensive, I don't want to call them miscues, but just failure to execute. And then you combine that with being unable to run the ball. They had 12 carries for 43 yards. 12 carries for 33 yards for 43 yards. One of them being that random long run for 25. Take away that run. And it's not like we know Chubb or the way how this offense runs where it's like, yeah, you know, you just have to kind of keep feeding, and then eventually you get a breakout run like a Derrick Henry type situation. That's not the situation here. So let's not pretend like it is. This run game was not in existence. I think Troy Amon brought it up where he was just like, there was no run game except for that one play. I'm pretty sure I think it was Troy who said it. Right. And that makes it difficult. So think about it. You can't run the ball. You're struggling to get the ball in the hands of your number 1 receiver. How do you expect that you're going to be able to reliably win? Okay. Nico Collins has 3 receptions for 52 yards. And again, the bulk of that is also off of 1 big catch for 29. It's in no way sustainable. And then when you want to hit some of these other receivers here, like Marks Chubb, you know, Hutchinson, it's also off of all of these deep balls. 29, 37, 27, 20, Higgins 28. And these are all low volume, 2 for 2, 1 for 1, right? And so it's just like you either get a big, you either get chunk players or nothing. You either are getting Chubb to go off for a 20-25 yard run, Nico Collins for a deep 29-yard catch, then any of your other fill-in wide receivers, a 37-yard catch, a 27-yard catch. And it's just like, where's any of the success in any of these other shorter level throws? How do you get the offense going in that regard? I mean, some of this is on CJ Stroud. A lot of this is on scheme. Some of this is on giving him better solutions when facing a blitz, when facing pressure, making teams pay for blitzing him at a more reliable rate. It's just right now it feels messy, and when things feel messy, everybody always just wants to point fingers to the quarterback, and I just don't think that that's 100% fair. If it felt like they were running the ball, well, the defense is forcing a lot of turnovers, and Nico's not getting targeted at all and whatnot, right? Like then I could see that a little bit more, but I don't think that that's the case right here, and it just feels like this offense never really can find a rhythm. And then in a moment when, say, CJ Stout's about to make a great play, then he either got flushed out of the pocket or he just rolled out the pocket himself. I think he got flushed out of the pocket. Does a great job of scrambling, and then is going to set up his tight end potentially for another big chunk yard play. You know, if he was able to break the 1 tackle, could have taken it for a touchdown, but at the very least, a huge play, he falls down. And so now, it just becomes an incomplete pass, and you're just like, it just never seems to quite grab itself. And anytime that you're looking for a play, there's no sense of like, okay, well, the Texans will be able to systematically just get after the defense here, right? 5 yards, 10 yards, 5 yards, 20 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards, hand the ball off. It's just always kind of like, man, we can't do anything. Man, we can't do anything. Man, we can't do anything. All right, let's just take a shot downfield. Hope for the best. Oh, and they're blitzing. They're bringing the house. And now CJ Stroud just has to just let it rip. And you're just like, what is this then? Like, what is this? I don't get it. And ironically, for a lot of this shorter passes, like behind the line in scrimmage and whatnot, 29 yards, which again, it's hard because I'm looking at just this week, but only 2 pass attempts. So only 2 pass attempts of like, really short short pass attempts, but a lot of success. And why there was no double downing on that, I have no idea, because they were the most successful at it with 14.5 yards per attempt. And the player and all the quarterbacks above them, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield too, Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, had more yards but way more pass attempts. CJ Shaw was 2 for 2 here. Geno Smith 7 for 9. Aaron Rodgers 7 for 7. Bo Nix 7 for 7. Sam Darnold 4 for 4. 2 was 7 for 8. Baker Mayfield 8 for 8. These are layups. These are layups. I am someone that always pounds the table for these types of plays, and they're having success with them here. And it's like, okay, so lean into that a little bit more. Strategically put this into your playbook at important moments here. Get the ball into your playmakers' hands, and when they do it, they have some success. So continue with it. And it's actually pretty funny, because now this is screen passes. I've talked a lot about Trevor Lawrence and Baker Mayfield. And now they have shared coaching, because Liam Cohen was the OC and who taught now the current OC for Baker Mayfield. And now, he's with Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohen, and lo and behold, and I talked about this going into the season about the screen passing game and behind the line of scrimmage passes. And I was expecting Trevor Lawrence to get a big boost in that. Lo and behold, here he does. He's got 2 touchdowns from screen passes. He's 8 completions on 9 attempts and 73 yards. Man, did I call that. And now Baker Mayfield is still continuing that trend. Because like I said, the coordinators have overlapped there. 6 completions for 6 attempts and a touchdown. And TJ Stroud, again, another outlier here with only 2 attempts, but still up here. Top 6 in yards. Lean into that more. Lean into that. You're having the success there. Lean into that. I'll never understand why, when things are working, coaches still don't seem to say, okay, this is working. We're just gonna double down. We see this all the time when the run game is working, and you'll see a lot of times a commentator will be like, why did they throw there? The run game was working perfectly. Just keep running the ball until the other team proves that they can stop it. And just like that is where coaches just try to do too much. And it's just like, this is working. This is working, like you're having success here. So yeah, it's been frustrating. I feel as though this offense has been disconnected, and CJ Stroud is just getting a bit too much of the blame. He definitely is deserving of some of the blame, but we also have to look beyond just, well, the O-line's bad. The O-line's bad, and it's just like there's more to it here. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans? Do you think it's time for the Texans to panic? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.